Danny, you okay?
It's just a bad memory.
It's in the past.
I hope so.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So we just heard some exciting news about Marvel. They're working on a new Iron Fist TV series, and it looks like there will be a fresh take on the character in the MCU this year, with another version planned for the next couple of years. This is all part of their big comeback for the Marvel Netflix Defenders characters, starting with Daredevil, Born-Again Kingpin, and the Punisher. And don't forget about Jessica Jones, who's also making a comeback. I'm really curious about Marvel's plan to redeem the Iron Fist character. I mean, what's their strategy here? And what about the actor Finn Jones who played Iron Fist in the Netflix series? Are they giving him a chance to redeem the character himself? It seems like Marvel has a whole different plan for the MCU, so I'm eager to see how that unfolds. Marvel has been making big moves with Iron Fist and the other Defenders characters. They're bringing them into the MCU, starting with the Echo series. It's like they're officially making it part of the Marvel Universe, even though fans have always felt a strong connection to the MCU. It's all part of Marvel's grand plan, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. It turns out that the Marvel Netflix series and the MCU were all intertwined in ways we never imagined. After seeing how seamlessly the stories have come together, I'm totally confident in saying that it's all part of the sacred timeline. So all that confusion back in the day was due to some major contract issues between Netflix and Marvel. The Marvel TV folks were doing their thing, while the movie people were in charge of TV shows, but now they've reorganized everything. They've even brought in new TV people to handle things, and it's starting to look a lot like the good old days of Marvel TV. Marvel just dropped the bombshell that there will be 2 new versions of Iron Fist in the MCU. The first sighting of Iron Fist will be in this super secretive stealth Black Panther series that's set to release later this year. They've been keeping it under wraps, doing tons of work behind the scenes, and let me tell you, it's shaping up to be something really special. But the way they've kept it secret is just mind-boggling. Like, why wouldn't they tell us about this big thing they've been cooking up? They've officially announced a whole lineup of animated TV shows, including the new Spider-Man Freshman Year series, which they're now calling Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And get this, Charlie Cox is making a comeback as Daredevil in the show, and there's a strong chance that Vincent D'Onofrio will reprise his role as Kingpin. Plus, Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange is set to make an appearance as well. So, there's this new show in the MCU that's meant to be like an Elseworlds type of deal. It's like a whole different universe within the MCU. And you know what's coming up soon? The X-Men 97 episodes. We're expecting a trailer for that real soon. And then there's this Black Panther, Eyes of Wakanda series in the works, along with a bunch of other Black Panther TV projects. They're introducing a whole new version of Iron Fist in the MCU, and it's going to be something totally different. This Iron Fist is going to be an ancient one, and from the plot synopsis of the Black Panther series, it seems like he's going to be the very first Iron Fist in the MCU. We're talking about the Iron Fist who was part of the Avengers 1 million BC team. It's like a blast from the past. And also, you should know that their version of the Hulk was the Star Brand, a completely different character with a totally different power set. They formed this Avengers team way back in the year 1 million BC to fight a Celestial. It's like a wild twist on the Eternals plot, with Odin and his crew taking center stage. The new Black Panther series is set to follow a team of Dora Milaje as they travel the world in search of Brainium, trying to keep it out of the wrong hands. If the current Black Panther at any point doesn't specifically gift vibranium to anyone, like during the first Captain America movie, where T'Challa's grandfather was still king of Wakanda, and he was relatively young, he gifted the vibranium for Captain America's shield to the United States and Howard Stark. It was actually intended for them to have Captain America's shield, but at the time, they didn't know they'd turn it into a shield. Howard Stark was the one who came up with that idea, and that's how we ended up with those jokes about it in Avengers: Age of Ultron. So, this new Black Panther series seems like it's going to show the team across history. And it's Marvel's way of using other versions of Black Panther from different parts of the timeline, like the older versions, because, as we all know, in real life, they can't use Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa anymore. It's going to be really interesting to see how they explore all these different aspects of the Black Panther legacy. Anne Bashinga would have been alive when Fan Fei, the original Iron Fist, was alive. Now, the timeline of the comics is very different from the timeline of the MCU, which is compressed a lot. But Fan Fei's backstory crosses over a bit with the Eternals' backstory in the MCU movie. She fought a lot of those ancient deviants that came to Earth. If they're going to do an ancient version of the Iron Fist character, the only other version I could think of would be from the Marvel Netflix Iron Fist series. In that series, they mention that the legend of Iron Fist goes back to Wu Oshi, the pirate queen of Pinghai Bay, who was the ancestor of Colleen Wing and was the Iron Fist during the 1500s in the comics. The Iron Fist lineage goes way back to around 1 million BC in the comics, so it's really fascinating to see how they might adapt these stories for the MCU. There's so much potential for exploring these ancient and legendary characters. It's interesting to note that Fan Fei as a character hadn't really been created until the Iron Fist series had been up and running. She wasn't really on the showrunners' radars until after they introduced that connection in the comics. Otherwise, they probably would have just said that Colleen Wing was the descendant of Fan Fei. The whole idea in the show's backstory is that Danny Rand believed Colleen came from her line, and thus had a claim, an ancient claim, to the Iron Fist, and it was the show's way of explaining why she could possess it. As the Netflix Iron Fist series progressed, they started to delve more into the history of the Iron Fist. Heading into Season 3, they were featuring more versions of the character, and it's possible that Orson Randall, who had been the Iron Fist before Danny Rand during the World War II era, was going to show up on the series at some point. They even got really trippy with the power of the Iron Fist during the Season 2 finale, where Danny Rand uses a ceremony to transfer the power of the Iron Fist to Colleen Wing, but somehow keeps the power himself too, leading to the existence of two versions of Iron Fist in the present day of the... Marvel has canonized all the Marvel Netflix series to the MCU, explaining that in present day, Colleen Wing still has the power of the Iron Fist, and Danny Rand still exists and still has the power. It seems like Marvel is open to bringing back Finn Jones as Danny Rand, so it sounds like they don't plan to recast Danny Rand specifically, which aligns with their plans for bringing back other Defenders characters. It's interesting to see how they might continue to develop and explore these characters and their storylines, especially in light of the introduction of the Shang-Chi character in the MCU. It's a whole new dimension to the world of martial artist superpowered beings in the MCU, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they continue to expand on these narratives. It's intriguing to consider the different levels at which characters like Shang-Chi and Iron Fist operate within the Marvel Universe. It seems that there is a plan to position Shang-Chi as more of an Avengers-level character, with a cosmic leaning due to the alternate dimension aspect of his story. This could potentially open up a whole new realm of storytelling within the MCU. In contrast, it appears that Marvel's intention for the future of the Iron Fist character is to maintain him as more of a street-level hero. This distinction could provide a rich tapestry of storytelling, exploring different corners of the Marvel Universe. Moreover, the announcement of a new Iron Fist series featuring a character who is not Danny Rand is quite intriguing. While the details have not been fully revealed, it's possible that this new series could be connected to the ancient Iron Fist lineage, such as Fan Fei or Wu Oshi, who were introduced during the Black Panther series. This could serve as a backdoor pilot, similar to how characters were introduced in the original Marvel Netflix series before branching off into their own shows. Given the early stage of development for this new Iron Fist series, there's flexibility in terms of how it could be approached. It's conceivable that it could take place in present-day MCU alongside the other returning Defenders characters, possibly with a focus on Colleen Wing. Jessica Henwick's comments about turning down a role in the new Shang-Chi movie in order to potentially return as Colleen Wing in the future hint at the possibility of her character making a comeback in some capacity. The potential for these developments opens up exciting possibilities for the future of the MCU, and it will be fascinating to see how these characters and storylines continue to evolve. It's clear that there's a lot of enthusiasm for the potential reintroduction and development of the Iron Fist character within the Marvel Universe. The prospect of bringing back Danny Rand and exploring a new, improved creative vision for the character is exciting. The idea of a Heroes for Hire TV series featuring the dynamic partnership between Danny Rand and Luke Cage, is particularly appealing. This format could provide a fresh and engaging way to reintroduce these characters, capitalizing on the on-screen chemistry between the two and allowing for their continued growth. Additionally, the notion of addressing past issues and improving upon them is crucial. Learning from the missteps of the original Iron Fist series and making significant improvements in choreography, storytelling, and character development could pave the way for a successful new iteration of the character. The potential for an Iron Fist versus Shang-Chi fight in the MCU presents an intriguing opportunity, especially if Colleen Wing were to return with the Iron Fist power. The possibilities for storytelling and character interactions are vast, and it's evident that there's a strong desire to see these narratives unfold in a compelling way. As for the direction of a new Iron Fist TV series, there are various avenues that could be explored. Whether it involves a version of Colleen Wing, a completely different Iron Fist in a distinct timeline, or a combination of both, there is immense potential for innovative storytelling and character exploration. The future certainly holds promise for the Marvel Netflix characters and their potential reintegration into the larger MCU. It will be fascinating to see how these narratives unfold and how the characters continue to evolve in new and exciting ways. As always, thanks for watching. I'd really appreciate your support for our small channel by subscribing and hitting the like button. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.